Hey there YouTube, NorCal Pepper 22 here. Gonna redo my video on my budget shtf and bug out weapons. Got some negative comments. People didn't like my comparisons of what I have versus some other weapons out there, and I did get a few facts wrong in my last video, so I wanted to redo it and simply just use this video as platform of this is what I have, this is what works for my budget and for me personally, so that way you can take it with a grain of salt. I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm not telling you what you should go out and buy. So I'm simply just going to show what I have as my bug out shtf weapons, how much I paid for them, where I got them, and why they work for me. So without further ado, I'm going to start off. I'd like to start off with my bug out shtf knife. A lot of these videos about bug out bags and bug out weapons and shtf weapons, they leave out knives. Yeah, you'll see them flash over their knife. They'll tell you, oh yeah, this is my K-bar, this is my Smith & Wesson Extreme Ops, and they don't really tell you why they have it or what they plan to do with it. Like they'll go into detail about their firearms. So I wanted to do my knife. This is a plain Jane, somewhat generic survival / hunting knife, I guess is what they're called. You know, nice knife, nice long blade, very sharp, holds an edge well, has a saw blade built into it, very nice for shelter building, trap building, or cutting through larger firewood. That way you don't have to risk hurting yourself trying to snap it. So I show this as part of my shtf bug out bag weapons because it is a weapon. A knife is a weapon, and it's a silent weapon that doesn't run out of ammunition. So I think knives are underrated in these videos and not talked about enough. Also, this is good for hunting. As you can see in the handle guard, it has the eyelets, and with some cordage and a long stick or wooden staff, you can strap this to it and use it to make a spear. You've seen it in movies. Obviously that concept and these knives are usually based off the design of the knife used by Sylvester Stallone in, you know, Rambo First Blood. Yeah, you can use it for hunting, spear fishing, things of that nature. Again, the saw makes it a very versatile tool, not just a weapon. And in the handle, the hollow handle, you have a compass on the butt cap, little O-ring on the threads, help keeps the water out. And you have a little survival kit in here in a little plastic baggie. It gives you a fishing line with a hook, some matches and strike paper, and a little sewing kit for sewing up clothes or fixing a tarp or tent. It's not just a weapon, but a very versatile tool. But definitely wanted to have it in the weapons video because, yeah, if I had to bug out or if you know, shit hit the fan in my area, I would have this on me and I would rely on it as a weapon if I had to. So very comfortable with that. Comes with a nice little nylon sheath. And I got this at Harbor Freight Tools for about $8. And the blade on it's real solid. It's stainless steel. The handle is aluminum. Yeah, $8, and it's a pretty tough knife. Holds an edge well. So I was pretty pleased with it. It definitely fit into my budget. Again, budget weapons. So this worked for me. Moving on. We're going to go to my pistol, which is my main self-defense weapon. I don't have any sort of assault rifle, you know, AR or AK. I don't have the money for that. I'm not saying those are bad weapons. I just don't have the money for it. So I went and got myself a handgun that, after researching it for a year, when I first heard about these guns and how inexpensive they were. And that would be the infamous High Point C9 9mm pistol. And just so you're aware, nothing in the chamber, magazine is out, this weapon safety checked. A lot of people hate these guns. A lot of people say they're jammers, a lot of people say they're cheap junk. I have over 200 rounds of Remington UMC 115 grain target load through this pistol, no jams. I did read online in my research, like I said, I researched this weapon for over a year, watched a lot of YouTube videos on it, read a lot of reviews. Winchester White Box seems to jam these weapons up, and I did put I think about 50 rounds of Winchester White Box through it, and I think I had about 2 jams. Switch back to the Remington, no jams. So yeah, definitely it just seems to be cheap ammunition doesn't work in this weapon. I picked this weapon because I had looked at them and did some research on them. It felt pretty good in my hands. A lot of people say they're heavy. I don't find them too heavy, but I'm a 240-pound guy, and when I was a kid I shot my uncle Smith & Wesson 45, and this is an older, heavy Smith & Wesson 45 from the 80s. So I'm used to a heavy weapon. I don't mind things being a bit heavy because I'm kind of a big guy myself. 9mm, decent stopping power, very inexpensive, easy to find. It's a NATO round, military round, police round. Always going to find 9mm. And I think for $60 I can pick up 250 rounds. So it's not bad. It is a completely 100% American-made pistol in Ohio and does hold a lifetime warranty. So that works for me. $170. Paid $170 at Sacramento Black Rifle up here in Northern California, and extremely happy with the purchase. Like I said, I have over 200 rounds as far as the Remington and about 50 in the Winchester White Box. Won't go back to White Box. I know that ammunition does not work well, but so we'll call it 200 rounds, a flawless performance with the Remington, and very happy with it. When I bought this weapon, it did come with a nylon hip holster, pretty well made in America. Came with the gun, $170. Comes with 1 magazine. I bought 2 extras at about $14 each, so very inexpensive. I have a little over $200 wrapped in this pistol. So this is my main self-defense weapon. I'd highly recommend it to anyone who's either buying on a budget or never bought a handgun before, or even guys that have tons of guns and tons of handguns, but you want something you can keep in your bug-out bag that if you don't shoot it, you're not sad about it. So yeah, you could buy this pistol, put 200 rounds through it, make sure it's broken in, and put it in your bug-out bag with a few magazines of ammo, and you wouldn't feel bad if you didn't get to go shoot it whenever you wanted, because you'd have your Glock or your Beretta, freed up. So that's always nice. Also researched this company as far as customer service. They have great customer service ratings. So if you did have an issue with this pistol, they're really well known for taking care of you. So that is my 9mm handgun. My final weapon in my shtf and bug-out weapons collection is pretty much all for hunting. Not really a self-defense weapon. And that would be my single shot, bolt action, 22 long rifle. There is no round loaded, and the safety is engaged every time you pull back the bolt. So this weapon is safety checked. This is a Western Auto Supply for any of you who are gun collectors or old timers who remember these when you were a kid. Model 100, nicknamed the Revelation. 22 long rifle, single shot, bolt action. I love this gun. This actually, I didn't buy this. This is a hand-me-down through my family. But I can tell you, for about $250, or less, you can go buy, you know, Sportsman's Warehouse, Big 5, any of your local gun stores, and pick up a 22. They're not very expensive weapons, and there's tons of accessories out there for different models. So you can find something that works for you. This one works for me simply because it was free. And also, I've shot this thing for years growing up. This is a hand-me-down from my family. Yeah, pretty much a hunting weapon only. 22 is a versatile hunting round. If you were to be hunting for small game, rabbit, squirrel, gopher, things like that, small game, this is perfect. Even bird you can take out with a 22 if you're a good shot as far as them in flight. If they're, you know, resting in a tree or on the ground looking for food, a bird can easily be taken out with a 22. Larger game has been recorded being taken down with a 22. There's reports from Alaska of bears being taken down with 22, deers with 22. Wouldn't recommend it, not humane, but there are records of it being done, so if you're starving and hungry, you can do it. So, yeah, this is not a self-defense weapon. I mean, if I had to, a 22 is lethal and I could get one shot off, but that's what my 9mm pistol's for. This is more simply just for the fact of feeding me if I have to bug out or if shit hit the fan. And, you know, 22 is very inexpensive. You can pick up a box of 500 rounds for $20, $25. It goes a long way. It's not very heavy, so it doesn't take up a lot of room. So you could put, you know, the brick of 500 in your bag and hike all day and not be too tired by it. So definitely a good choice, good option to have. So those are my bug out and shtf weapons. This is why they work for me and where I got them and how much I paid for them. Again, not trying to sound like any sort of weapons expert or any type of expert in any way. This is more of just what works for me, what fit in my budget, and you know, things of that nature. So I'm just sharing that with the rest of you YouTubers, the rest of you YouTube preppers. Feel free to leave feedback. Again, I ask no super negative or rude comments. Again, let's try and work together and be constructive. So, catch you on the next video, and hopefully my next video will be on my bug out bag once I have it a little more completed.